He gets his inheritance this afternoon. That's why we're moving.
This is 48-year-old Ina Kenoyer. It's 4:30 in the morning. Police are here about a drunk neighbor, but Ina Kenoyer tells them something no one asked about. Her boyfriend Steve is collecting $37 million in a few hours. Within 24 hours, he will be airlifted to a hospital in Bismarck. He will never wake up.
I thought everybody knew. I'm sorry.
Don't tell me anything.
To everyone around her, she was a devastated girlfriend, but his best friend Billy had already told detectives something different.
And I don't want her to sell it because we think she poisoned him. I'm almost sure she poisoned him.
Billy knew before the autopsy, before the lab results came back confirming antifreeze in Steve's blood, and when detectives finally sat Ina down and told her what they found.
I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I wish I was there. I wish I was with him every second of the day that day. I wish I watched every single, but I'm not his goddamn mom.
Early Sunday morning, September 3rd, 2023, between 4:07 and 5:00 a.m., Minot police were dispatched to 912 8th Street, NW Apartment A in North Dakota. It wasn't an unfamiliar address. Officers had been here before. Disturbances, arguments, complaints. Officers were responding to reports of a disturbance involving a neighbor, Chad Deal. He was intoxicated, aggressive, and attempting to kick in doors. By 4:18 a.m., officers located blood drops outside Apartment A. Chad was bleeding heavily from his face. The scene looked violent. Trying to understand what actually happened, officers continued asking questions in the neighborhood. That's when they were introduced to Ina Kenoyer.
It's the police department. It's not Chad. Hey, how you doing?
Hi. Sorry.
You thought it was Chad?
Yeah.
Who was Chad out here?
Trying to kick in everybody's door.
Who was he
He
out here
was
fighting?
busted to my light, and look at the garbage cans.
Who was here? Who was he fighting with out here?
My fiancée, he went for a walk to cool down.
Okay. Who's
He
that?
questioned him a couple times.
Who's that?
Huh?
Who's your fiance?
Steve,
Steve.
Riley.
Steve Riley?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your name?
I'm Ina
Ina.
Kenoyer.
Okay. You got just an ID on you real quick. I just want to make sure.
Hang on.
Chad got his face. Is your fiance hurt at all?
He got gash on his forehead.
Okay. You know where he
And his
was?
knees are scraped up, but
Okay. We just want to talk with him too, just to make sure he's all right if possible.
Officers noted it, cleared the scene, and moved on. Chad was transported to the hospital. The disturbance appeared resolved, but it wasn't. The next morning, officers returned to that same address, but this time, it wasn't Chad. It was Stephen Riley, being loaded into an ambulance, and everything Ina said that morning was about to be re-examined. Steve Riley was 51 years old and expecting the best week of his life. For months, he had been in contact with a lawyer named Richard, an Englishman representing the estate of a deceased Irish uncle. The inheritance, $37 million. Steve had been sending documents, personal information, and everything the lawyer asked for. Richard was flying in on a private plane on September 3rd to finalize the paperwork. Steve had no bank account, no driver's license, and no steady job. He was living in a cluttered apartment on 12th Avenue with his girlfriend of 13 years, but he had already drawn up plans, $1.5 million property purchase, trust funds for his sons, and a trip to Ireland to get married in his family's castle.
He's coming in tomorrow to do that, or what?
today. His lawyer gets here today at 2
Okay.
to sign the paperwork for his money,
Okay.
and then he's gonna go pay that, and his lawyer gonna pay the rest of his child support.
However, the lawyer had a different plan. He pushed the meeting, first to 11 a.m., then 2 p.m., then 8 p.m. The group drove to the airport 3 separate times in a single day. The lawyer never appeared at any of them, but by then, Steve Riley was barely standing, so they returned to the apartment that night with nothing. Everyone who had been there that day assumed the same thing. Steve had spent the morning working on his truck in a closed garage. He hadn't been drinking enough water. It was a heat stroke. It had to be. But Steve had experienced heat stroke before. 6 months earlier, he had survived it. This time, by morning, he was completely unresponsive. That's when Ina called 911.
911.
What?
Your emergency?
My husband's really sick. He got heat stroke yesterday, and now he's not waking up. And come on, wake up!
What's the phone number
Hey!
you're calling from?
I don't have a phone number. It's a phone that never got finished getting set up.
Okay. How old is he?
Send Evelyn. He's 51 today. Babe! Come on, babe! I've been trying everything. Ice, water.
Okay, but he is breathing?
Yes. He's snoring.
Okay,
I put him on the floor because he keeps trying to get up to go to the bathroom, and
is his
he
breathing
can't.
normal?
He doesn't have enough strength. He won't talk to me anymore. He won't look at me. He won't open his eyes.
Okay, just give me 1 second, okay?
And one of his eyes is really glossy. Oh, it went back to normal. Okay. Babe! You're going to the hospital, okay?
Steve Riley was rushed to Trinity Hospital in Minnow and then airlifted to St. Alexius Medical Center in Bismarck. He never regained consciousness. Investigators began interviewing everyone connected to Steve Riley. After 10 days of Steve's death, his girlfriend Ina Kenoyer agreed to sit down and talk. Now detectives needed to hear her version of that Sunday.
So, like I said, we have been just talking to everyone that we had mentioned being around, like Billy, Russ, everybody that kind of just knew Steve, just to get an idea of like what was going on in his life, this inheritance, what people knew about it, and things like that. Let me just make sure my reader's off here. And so I guess that's just some of the questions, like we're gonna ask you how long have you known him, how'd you meet him, things like that. So just to start though, I'll just get some basic info. Your middle name is Thea?
Yeah.
Thea? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Do you have a phone number, Ina?
No.
Okay.
And the phone I did have was either I dropped it on the way home from getting a job at the motel, or I was pickpocketed. One of the two, I don't know.
Okay. When did that happen?
Today's Wednesday?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Monday?
Okay.
Did I go? I can't remember if I walked down Monday.
What hotel are you working at?
I can't ever say it right.
Microtel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Microtel.
Okay. How long have you been working there?
Yesterday was my second day.
So Tuesday was your second day. Okay. What was your first day?
Oh, I had Monday off because I couldn't walk.
Okay.
Because the day before, I walked and filled out the application, and I was pretty much hired right there.
Okay. What day was that?
Saturday.
Saturday. Okay.
That works. No, I worked Saturday. Sorry.
Okay. Saturday was your first day.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
And then I walked back home. That was the second day I walked there and back.
Okay.
And I couldn't really walk straight. My legs are still hurting from walking yesterday.
Okay.
Back and forth.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yep.
So you and Steve were in a relationship.
Yep.
Okay. How long had you guys been together?
13 years.
Okay.
Easter.
Okay. Where did you guys meet?
Homeless shelter. At an Easter
In
buffet dinner.
In North Dakota? Or
Washington.
In Washington. Okay.
Bellingham, Washington.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a little place right by the shelters that was given a Easter dinner lunch thing.
Okay.
Brunch.
When did you guys move to North Dakota?
He moved first to Williston. I guess the guy that was running the shelter on the men's side told him about it and got him a ticket.
Okay. For like oil fields?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he never got a job. And so he started working for KFC.
Okay.
And then he sent me a ticket and pretty much asked me to marry him.
Okay.
And I was out Yeah.
When was that? Do you remember what year?
It was August. Because it was really hot in Washington and here.
Okay.
Because he had to get a motel because I was like overheating from the bus.
Okay.
And then walking all the way to the motel.
Okay.
So.
Do you remember what year that was when you guys moved here, or when
2011?
you moved here? 2011. Okay.
I think. Yeah.
And you were living in Williston to start?
For a year, 2.5 years, I want to say.
Okay. And then you moved to Minot?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, renting a room was like $1,000.
I'm sure. Yeah. Oil boom was expensive for
Yeah.
everything. Okay.
Then we got an apartment with another guy, David.
Okay.
I don't know his last name.
In Williston or here?
Williston.
Williston. Okay.
I want to say 4 months ago.
Okay.
But it could have been sooner because, you know, days kind of run into each other.
So what is the inheritance? I know you had shown that first day Lieutenant Dakinite came. You showed us kind of that letter that was on Steve's phone.
Mm-hmm.
Is that's the inheritance? That was the letter? Okay.
And he was talking to an actual lawyer, I guess.
Okay.
From London.
So this lawyer reached out to him and said he's...
I guess. I don't even know how he found out about it.
Okay.
If he found out about it, you know, doing a background check on him and seeing if anybody owes him money, you know, back pay, you know, lost check somewhere where he used to work somewhere. Honestly, I have no idea. It just appeared, you know, and he showed it to me one day.
The letter.
Yeah. And he wanted me to have a copy to make sure, you know, if something ever happened to him. And he was reading that the money wasn't cursed or whatever. He's like, every single person that went for the Riley money over there,
yeah,
even this 21-year-old, had passed away.
What do you mean? I guess the inheritance had been left for other people too, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, is it cursed? And people that go after it are dying? He's like, I don't know, maybe. I was like, well, then don't go after it. How silly is that, you know? Just go get a real job. Don't worry about it.
How much money was it?
It ended up, it was supposed to be $17 million.
Okay.
And some on hundreds.
Okay.
17,500,000, something like that.
Okay.
But with all the property sold off, it ended up being 37 million.
So there was cash and then properties were sold.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know this was from a family member?
And I gave it to Brian. The paperwork.
Okay.
That I printed out to make sure, you know, I have some, just in case something did happen to him, I could give it to his son to track it down or whatever.
So
I gave all the information.
Who was it supposed to be coming from? Who was the family member?
God, without his phone, Marcus something Riley.
Okay.
I want to say.
Was that a brother or
uncle?
That was an uncle. Okay. Did he live
in Ireland?
Okay. Had he ever talked about Marcus before? Did he even know he had an uncle? Marcus?
I don't know.
Okay.
Honestly, he said he had family all over.
Okay.
So I honestly.
So the paperwork that you gave Ryan, didn't say anything in there about the family member or anything like that? Or did
a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Ryan has all that paperwork now?
I should have it on his phone.
Okay. How did you send it to him?
I thought you guys gave him his phone. Steve's phone.
You said that you gave Ryan all this paperwork.
The
did you
property
give
from
it?
Wes.
Okay, how did you? Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
not this information on this inheritance.
No.
Does Ryan have anything about this inheritance? Does he have any paperwork on that? So what paperwork did you give Ryan? I was under the. You said that you were going to give him paperwork in case something happened to Steve. That you were going to give him
the property, yeah, that he was buying from Wes. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. When I had my phone, I showed Ryan.
You showed Ryan what?
Yeah, the inheritance.
Okay.
And what to look up on Steve's phone when you gave him his phone.
Okay.
Okay? And where to go to look for it.
Okay.
Okay? And Steve was buying Wes's property. And I gave Ryan the paperwork for that.
Okay.
Okay?
Gotcha. How much was the property?
What I read on it, it was $1,500,000.
So he was gonna buy that property with inheritance money, not
Yeah.
now. Okay. Okay. And that paperwork Ryan had.
Yeah.
Was the lawyer foreign as well? Was he
English.
He was English, okay.
Yeah.
Was he from England or
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he wasn't from the US, he was from somewhere else. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember his name? Did he ever mention
Richard.
Richard. So Richard initially wants Steve to open a bank account. Do you remember when that was? How long ago that was? Roughly.
I don't know.
Okay. I mean, was that like within a month, or was that earlier in the year?
Earlier in the year.
Okay, so it's been a little bit. And then
around the same time I did my taxes.
Okay. So springtime-ish, maybe. Okay. So Steve wrote up a will with
Yes.
this lawyer. Okay. Do we know
Where
the
he would
will
want
is?
it to go to, and
Okay.
most of it was supposed to go to his sons and his two sisters.
Okay.
And then he left me a little bit to live off of, he said.
Okay.
But I think I just wanted a car and then give the rest to his ex-wives, because they seriously deserve it. That's what I told Ryan. If he left me anything, just give me a car. That's all I ask.
Okay.
And then give the rest to your mom and Cheryl, because I don't want to see it.
So, have you seen this will, or how did you know that there was this will, and where the money was going? How were you?
I heard him talking to the lawyer.
You heard Steve talking to the lawyer about it, making the arrangements.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was actually looking forward to bringing his sisters some of the money too.
Were they close?
No.
Okay.
No. But they were Riley's, what he said, you know.
Okay.
Was
he close?
He was
with
gonna
any
play
family?
a mean Ed McMahon game. Joke.
Oh.
Big cardboard box. He was gonna hire somebody to take a big cardboard box, saying you're a millionaire, and then give him $1 while he's laughing around the corner.
Oh.
That's what he wanted.
3 people were with Steve Riley for the entire day before he collapsed. Detectives had already spoken to all of them.
So how did you meet Steve?
You used to live out at the former radar base, which I owned, and he rented a house from me.
Okay. Do you still own the radar base?
Yeah.
Okay. When Steve rented a house there, was he the only tenant, or was
Well, Ina was there.
Ina was there?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said that was about 10 years ago? Or
Well,
started
that's
10
about,
years ago?
yeah, about that time, maybe 10 or 11. I'm not exactly sure, but
How long did he rent from you out there?
well, I don't know how long has he been in my, you know?
I don't know.
I can't remember when he moved, but
Maybe a couple years, I think.
Oh, yeah, it's been.
Well, at least I know where he's living now, so I'm not sure if he lives somewhere.
I was looking on my phone last night. The reason they moved was there was a fire in this house.
Oh, okay.
And well, since all this happened, and I don't recall who it was that said that they thought, and I had never heard it before a couple of days ago, that they thought she had said it.
Okay.
And there was a fire out there probably a year before that, and the fire marshal was investigating a person for possibly setting that up, but they both got killed in a car accident.
Oh.
So everything just dropped there, but then this happened, and it was a windy day, just crazy wind out there, and it partially burnt theirs and the next one to it. So, but then they moved to mine, and then I kind of lost contact with them for a while, and then ran across him a few places, and he liked to do mechanic work and stuff, and there's a guy out there that does some of that, and he would be out there. Link is his name. You probably heard of him. Yeah. I was trying to find last night his pictures. I took some pictures of it, and I had it on I've saved all my pictures, but I went through every one because it has the dates on them, you know?
Yeah.
Because I know that's when they moved. I thought maybe you'd want to know that, but I'm gonna have to go to the fire department, Max, and if you need that time period, but. And I don't know if he's been in the same place and mined it ever since, but I kind of think he probably had been. But and they both, well, that's when I think they drove together. But
that'd be a heck of a walk in the winter.
Oh,
even in the summer.
Yeah. But I said, man, you can walk that far. Well, then it started. You know, some people would give her, or she found somebody that she could ride to work with for, biggest part of the time, but they don't always go on the same schedule either, you know. And then once in a while she'd pay somebody to haul her up, but that didn't go on very long, but she kind of quit working. But she told me not too long ago that she's worked in the medical field for either 32 or 34 years. Well, when Steve got sick up at the airport. I went there. We're supposed to meet at, what time was it in the afternoon for 2 o'clock?
So we're talking about the day he wants to go to the airport to meet the lawyer?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, with the papers.
What day was that?
Was that on a Sunday?
No, the first time it was the day before. It was the 29th of August.
Yeah, but no, the day that this happened when he passed out
that was Sunday.
On a Sunday.
So
the day before he went to the hospital.
So the 29th was a Tuesday.
That was on August, yeah.
Okay, and so
that was the first time, yes. And that date had been set up for months.
Okay, so we'll start there. So Steve tells you that this lawyer is coming on the 29th
yeah.
to Minot Airport.
Airport, yeah. On a private small plane.
Okay, and he's going to meet with Steve to give him the checkbook and do the money transaction,
do the paperwork.
Okay.
Yep. And then I think it got moved to, when was it? The Saturday or Sunday.
One time after that.
So that 29th, was he just, he wasn't looking for a ride to the airport. He was just telling you
he
about
needed a ride, but
okay.
I don't know who gave him a ride up there.
Well, I don't think we made it to the airport because we were planning on, getting together, and then I think you talked to Steve. And they said, no, they changed it.
Oh,
okay.
Because Steve was kind of upset because, it's been the 29th. He's told
for months
us
it had been the 29th of August.
Yeah, and they said something had come up. That his sister,
airplane or something got delayed or some problem with it.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So it got delayed until that Sunday, and then it was supposed to be Sunday at 2 in the afternoon.
Okay.
So
on Sunday there was a 2 o'clock.
Correct. And
Steve didn't show up.
Nope. So Dad drove to Steve's, and they said nope. It got moved to 8.
We went home for a while and came back up that day, didn't we? That's right. Yeah.
And then what he just got done telling you was
happened at 8 o'clock or quarter to 8. Yeah.
Quarter to 8.
So how was Steve acting at that point?
About in the evening?
In the afternoon at 1:45.
Did I see him that day?
You did. Steve actually, when Dad talked to him, Dad called me and said, nope, it's been moved to 8. And he said, I'm here with Steve. He wants to talk to you. So he put Steve actually on the phone, and Steve said, yeah. He said, I guess they moved it. And he said, are you still taking care of my land?
Yeah.
And
that he was talking about what he was buying from Shannon.
And
Steve said that to Shannon.
Okay.
And I said, yep, I'm doing it. And he said, yeah, I guess they pushed it back a few hours. He said, I guess God tells us to be patient, he says. He told me. And I said, well, yeah, I guess that's the hard part. And that was the last I talked to him.
So
the part I told you, I said it was 2 o'clock. It was actually 8.
Okay.
Billy Burkhead had been with Steve almost every day for a decade. He was at the apartment the morning Steve collapsed. He rode to the airport. He watched Steve deteriorate across that entire Sunday. And Billy wasn't the only one watching that day.
He got about halfway to the garage, and all of a sudden, goes like this, you know?
Okay.
Doubled over, holding his stomach, and I could tell he didn't walk nearly as good after that. And he said, boy, he said, I feel funny. My head, I just don't feel good.
Okay.
But so he went in the garage and got it, and it took a minute or two, and I started thinking, God dang, he didn't feel good, and went in there. Well, I got to the it's an overhead garage door, and I didn't go in, but I looked in. Here he is halfway back out, facing the garage door, down on his knees. And I thought, geez, he fell to his knees. I said, Steve, did you fall? And then all of a sudden he did the sign of the cross and stuff. He said, I was just praying. He said, I was praying.
That
was his
strange?
comment. That's the first time. I knew he is somewhat, he had to be religious, because he had that background, but that's what he said then. He said, because he really felt tough, man. He had a tough time getting up. I had to help him get out of the garage, and he was real, but he came from the house, and it hit him about halfway to the garage.
Okay.
Well, then we go to the airport. Well, anyhow, I said, who do you want to ride with? Well,
you said he needed help getting up from his knees.
And there's a lot of stuff in there, and because I didn't want him to trip over, and I kind of got him by the one arm, and then we went outside, and then he said, well, Link said he can ride with me, and Ina came, and she sat in the back. I think she sat in the back part of the bigger cab, and I think Steve sat in front. But
did they ride with Link?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, they went with Link to the airport, from Steve's place to the airport, which it isn't far from there, it didn't take long. But anyhow, we get there, and Manny was, how the hell was this?
Well, first of all, what he just told you, that was the 8 o'clock flight.
This is 8 a.m.?
Yeah.
No,
not
8 in the evening.
Yeah.
Just a second.
Okay. We get to his place for the 8 o'clock flight, and
he
said he felt drunk, but he hadn't been drinking.
No, and that's when he doubled over too.
Right. But he made that comment that he had not been drinking.
No, he said, I haven't been drinking.
He actually made that comment quite a few times.
That day? That night?
That night, because when we were at the airport, he'd be sitting there, and I told him, just sip some water, Steve.
Okay.
And he kept saying, God, I feel like I'm drunk, but he said, I haven't drank anything all day.
And he's working on what he wanted that day was to get his pickup running and drive up there himself.
Okay.
Is what his plan was.
Okay. So just kind of some strange behavior or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
It really, and so quick, he I don't know what that was. I thought maybe it's something.
Okay.
I guess I had in my mind it was that heat thing too, and.
Sure. So, get him dropped off at home. What time do you think you leave there?
Well, it took a little while to get him in the house.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of threw up there, and then there's that half step up, and I tried to get the door open and hang on to him, and I don't know where Ian was in already or behind or whatever, but anyhow, I got the door open, And from the time he stepped in, I seen he was aiming toward the couch, and so I kind of held on to him from behind, and he kind of just went on the couch, kind of laying, well, to me it seemed like he was laying on his right, and there was a lot of stuff on the couch. And he kind of laid with his head over on it, and then she said, I need some salt for him. And she said, I don't think I have any. And I said, well, do you have a salt shaker? We can get, I didn't, probably you need salt when you have heat stroke, huh? Or not? Well, anyhow, that's what she, and
she asked if you have any?
Well,
or she
no.
said, I need some, and you said, do you have any?
Yeah, she said he needs some salt, and I said, well, go get some or whatever, and she said, well, don't have any. I said, well, do you have a salt shaker? And no. And so then I remembered I had bought some groceries on the way up, and I had a bag of potato chips in back. I said, I got some potato chips and they'd be salt on them. So I come in and opened up the bag and put some in a bowl for her, and well, she didn't do it, so I grabbed one and walked over to Steve and he was kind of laying, but he was still conscious, but he took that chip, and I think Ina put it by his mouth then, and he tried to chew it, but he didn't not do very well at it, but I don't know if he even got it swallowed. But then about 5 minutes after that, she said, well, oh yeah, too. I said, is he sleeping? And she said, he's breathing, and she didn't get close enough to, I suppose maybe she could see if he was, but she didn't seem really concerned.
But he was not awake at that point?
Halfways.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I went back the next day to see if he was in the hospital or if he was home, and she said he was at the clinic, and he wasn't. I know he was laying there. She wouldn't even let me in the door. She slammed it shut, and we talked through the door, not the storm door, but the main door.
Okay.
But then, who was it called me? Was it Billy or Lynn? Said that, I don't know how it was that he ended up, did she make the call, or? Oh, she did, okay, I guess I haven't heard that.
So, after the airport, Link had driven Ina, right, to the airport?
To the airport.
Was he still around when all of
He
this
was
happening?
I guess he rode my car up, I forgot that part.
Steve rode up with Dad and Link and Ina.
Right, so when you get back to the apartment with Steve and he's not doing well, is Link still around? Or did he just
Link went home, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That same day, before Steve Riley was airlifted out of Minnow, Ina Kenoyer walked into a law office. She told them her fiancé was in a coma. She wanted to hire a lawyer to collect his inheritance. However, the inheritance was a scam. The $37 million never existed. The lawyer was fake. The Irish uncle was fake. The emails bounced when investigators tried to reply. The documents had mismatched fonts. The lawyer never appeared at any airport at any of the 4 scheduled times across 3 days. Steve had been corresponding with a fraudster for years.
So why don't we talk about the weekend that Steve ended up becoming sick and passing? What happened that weekend? What was he doing? That was Labor Day weekend.
Mostly drinking beer. The night before, he wanted to get a good night's sleep. But
he was drinking.
Chad.
Hang on, he was drinking beer which night, or was that the whole weekend?
That's pretty much the whole weekend.
Okay.
He got a case of beer from Wes and some food from the Max food bank that Wes brought him, and a case of beer.
Okay.
For his birthday. And then Link brought him a case of beer and Fireball.
And what happens then?
I finished helping him get dressed. I put him a belt on, and he got into Wes's car. And they stopped at the gas station at Senex for some iced tea.
This is at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's when he started getting really sick and really wobbly, and I kept begging him to go to the hospital. But Wes, I guess, talked Steve out of going to the hospital. And it was just heat stroke.
So we'll just finish this 2 o'clock thing at the airport.
Okay.
So do they go to the airport?
Yep.
And what happens?
There was nobody there. I ran around the whole airport screaming, is there a lawyer here for Stephen Riley? Stephen Riley sitting out in the car outside.
So you went to the 2 o'clock one with everybody?
Yes.
Who rode with who?
I rode with Link.
Okay.
And he rode with Wes.
Steve rode with Wes?
Yes.
Did Billy, because you've got Billy and Conrad too, did they go as well?
No.
Okay. So just a couple of you went?
Yes.
Steve rides with Wes. Okay. And who stops at Senex for iced tea?
Wes and Steve.
Okay. Is it just those two?
Yes.
Okay. And then you and Link, you just meet them at the airport?
We followed them to the airport.
Followed. Okay, so you stopped at Senex as well?
Well, we got there right when they were pulling out the Senate type thing. You know, they got their iced tea.
Okay.
Because we were a couple minutes behind.
Okay. So then you all go to the airport. Where at the airport?
We went to not the main airport, but the smaller one first.
Okay.
Because Wes and his son were sitting there. I mean, Wes's son was sitting there.
Okay.
Waiting for Wes and Steve. And said this was the only airport coming in right now at 2 o'clock.
Okay. And
that's when he passed out. Steve passed out the first time.
Okay. Is he in the car?
Mm-mm.
He's outside.
Yeah. He was standing on the side of the car. I turned around and he's on the ground.
Where is that? Are you guys like parked in the parking lot or?
Yeah, the small airport.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it's called the charter.
Okay.
Airport. I don't know.
Like for the private flights.
Yeah.
Okay. So Steve is on the ground. Is he breathing?
Yes.
Okay. Is he awake?
He woke up.
Okay.
After I stuck some ice cubes on. I stuck some ice cubes in my hands and I stuck it on his neck right here, and that's pretty much when he woke up and started spinning around, going, "What the hell happened?" And then I tried to put some ice cubes in his armpits, you know, to cool him down even faster, hopefully.
Okay.
And that's when I started begging, "Can I please call the ambulance, take you out, ambulance?" And Wes started saying, "There's a ambulance bay right here, fire department ambulance."
Okay.
I was like, "I just want him to go to the hospital. He's like, "But there's an ambulance bay right there."
Yeah.
Who said that?
Wes. Yeah. And his son was saying, "Oh, it's just heat stroke. My wife just went through it this morning." I was like, "Nah, that's not good."
So how we do? There's an ambulance there, Wes says, but then what happens? He doesn't.
Yeah, we don't. I listened to Steve and the other two saying just take him home and try to get him cool, but Steve's like, "No, we gotta go check the other airport first." So we went to the bigger airport.
Okay.
That's when I ran around the whole airport screaming for Jared, lawyer guy, looking for Steve.
That was at the main airport?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I was like, there's nobody there. I even approached a couple people asking, "Lawyer guy?" They're like, "Nope, no lawyer."
Where was Steve
I
during
finally
that time?
begged Steven to at least go on home, sitting on the couch and drink some water and calming down, or getting some cold towels wrapped around him. Because again, I thought his son was right that it was heat stroke, but
Where was Steve at when you were in the airport looking for the lawyer?
In Wes's car. Wes had it off, and I kept begging him to turn the air conditioner on and pointing it straight at Steve. But he kept arguing about leaving his car on with the air conditioner running. And he kept asking about the lawyer.
So that's 2:00,
Yes.
and the lawyer again doesn't show up. Is Steve getting emails from him?
I don't know.
Okay, so we don't know.
That's pretty much when Wes kept complaining about the lawyer.
Are you familiar with heat stroke? Have you seen people have heat stroke before?
Since I moved here, yeah.
Okay.
A couple times, but not really.
Okay. So, I mean, I guess I'm just wondering, I mean, if somebody were to say to me, these are the signs of heat stroke, I wouldn't know. I have not experienced anybody with heat stroke. So I'm just wondering how you would know. Okay. How do you know all that, though?
Control. I Googled it.
Okay. When did you Google that?
God, the first time I ended up calling an ambulance.
So like 6 months to a year ago?
Yeah. It'll mimic poisoning, I read. This time I read.
What do you mean this time?
Because the doctor said it looked like he drank antifreeze or had antifreeze in his system. So I Googled it and it had the same symptoms as heat stroke.
Okay. When did you Google that?
The day he was in the hospital. The day he went.
Okay.
And the day when I finally got there and found out that
Who told
he
you?
ingested
Who told you?
the doctor.
What doctor?
I don't. Same doctor that treated me with my bug bites.
What hospital?
Trinity.
The ER doctor, or?
Yeah.
He was throwing up. I guess I don't understand. Like, what's the opening like on the juice? Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? Juice?
You talking about just like a regular juice
Right.
container?
Yeah. You know those.
I don't know what a regular juice container is.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, does it have like a pour spout opening on it, or is it just open?
With those lids, that close and lock, open.
Like a pitcher?
Yeah.
Pitcher. Oh, okay. So not like a gallon jug,
No.
buy, but where you make.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
bought
3 of them.
Okay.
One for ice water and one for juice.
Okay.
Don't remember what the third one was supposed to be for, but.
Okay.
Oh, iced tea. And I used the juice container that he makes his.
Okay.
You know, that flavored water stuff that go in, yeah.
Okay.
For his urinal and his puke bucket.
So, when you find out this is supposedly poisoning now, what are your first thoughts?
Tell me that again?
You said the doctor told you it was he was maybe poisoned.
Yeah.
What is the first things that come to your mind when you hear that?
This is not what I'm hearing. I don't know. This can't be real. How the hell would that happen?
Okay.
Pretty much those words were running through my head, and that's basically what came out of my mouth. Can you tell me that one more time, doctor?
Okay. And then what? Do you think of anyone in particular?
That's when his friend, Laura, says it's okay. We'll find out more when.
So she was there when the doctor said it?
Yeah.
Okay.
She heard the doctor say that?
Yeah.
You don't know Laura's last name or anything?
No.
Do you know where she lives?
No. I didn't know her that well, just the one time she rode her bike and she was overheating and she needed a place to cool down.
Okay. So after the doctor says this, then are you thinking, like, eventually, like, who could have done this? Who would have done that to Steve?
That's what I was saying. I was like, this can't be real. I mean.
Okay. But I know you had said to me you thought Wes or Billy would do it.
Yeah.
Why would you think that?
Those are nasty people.
Okay. But what would they gain from Steve dying?
Wes, he'd pretty much lose everything, so no, I could see him doing something sexual towards him, but not drugging him.
Okay.
Billy or Conrad, yes.
What would they gain?
Seeing Steve not getting his inheritance.
Okay.
Stealing his truck, because Billy's pretty much every time him and Lynn put Steve in jail, they actually stole stuff out of his truck or his vehicle that Steve's owned. Just before we moved into the apartment, Steve had a Toyota 4Runner.
Mm-hmm.
All that was wrong with it was the tires were flat.
Okay.
And every single part on that Toyota was gone.
Okay.
The engine, it was up on blocks behind the townhouses out at the old Raider base. The engine was missing. Underneath was missing, I mean, it was stripped. And he didn't even give Steve a week to come get it.
Okay.
Steve Riley's toxicology report shows no alcohol in his system. 0. He had not been drinking. The blood test confirmed it. The almost full case of Coors Light Ina just described does not exist in his bloodstream. What does exist in his bloodstream is ethylene glycol at toxic levels, consistent with ingestion over several hours beginning in the morning, while he was working on a truck, and while he was getting dressed.
So on the morning that you end up calling the ambulance in the afternoon, what is Steve doing overnight? Is he sick? Is he sleeping? What's happening?
Back and forth. He wakes up having to go pee.
Okay.
I bring him the urinal, he pee.
So he's communicating with you. Okay.
And then I empty the pee out.
Mm-hmm.
And I give him the water jug at that point.
Okay. Is he drinking alcohol?
No, just water and tea all night, that night. He doesn't really like water, so that's why I had to mix it tea and water, give him the tea first while he's peeing, and then I put the tea up and give him the water.
Okay.
And then while I'm emptying the juice, the tub of pee in the toilet, he was drinking the water.
Okay.
He could hold his head up. He could, hold the container.
He could or could not?
He could.
Okay.
Yeah. And he said he'd be just fine.
He said he would be fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just let him sleep a couple more hours. And I really gotta get going.
Okay. So I just have a lot of concerns here, okay, and I'm just going to be honest with you. You told the paramedics when they were there that morning or afternoon that he had been drinking till 5 in the morning, that he had been consuming alcohol. That's on body cam. Okay, you said he was drinking all day the day before and that he drank his last drink at 5 a.m. Okay, and now you're telling me he didn't drink. That's not what you say on this video, okay?
I want to see this video.
Okay, well, I'm not going to show you the body cam. I'm just telling you that that's what's on there. There's reports that Wes came to the house that morning and you said that Steve was at the walk-in clinic. He wasn't at the walk-in clinic.
Steve didn't want to see Wes anymore.
Okay, but Steve wasn't at the walk-in clinic.
He was at the hospital.
He wasn't at the hospital. He wasn't anywhere yet. Because
was
it's been
at the
verified. He
hospital.
wasn't when Wes was there, okay?
He just left with the ambulance when Wes showed up there.
That's not what's been reported to us. Wes was there prior to.
Yeah, the timestamps prove that.
I want a lawyer.
Okay, that's fine.
Am I being arrested?
Nope, you're not being arrested. We're just talking. So, but if you want a lawyer, we can stop talking right now. That's fine.
But I'm telling you the God honest truth.
I
don't know
what
happened. I wasn't there. I wish I was there. I wish I was with him every second of the day that day. I wish I watched every single, but I'm not his goddamn mom.
You asked for a lawyer, Ina, so we're just gonna end this now. Okay, I'm not gonna talk anymore. All right.
You guys are so unbelievable.
Ina Kenoyer walked out of that interrogation room. She was not arrested that day. Detectives executed a search warrant on apartment 912A. In the garage, the same garage Steve had been spray painting his truck in the morning. He died. They found a nearly empty Coors Light bottle. Inside it was a bright green liquid. They found a plastic mug with similar contents and a sealed Windex bottle that smelled strongly of chemicals. All three were collected and tested. Ethylene glycol, antifreeze, the same compound that had nearly killed Steve 6 months earlier. The Coors Light bottle was what he had been drinking from. Antifreeze contains ethylene glycol, which makes the liquid taste slightly sweet. Mixed into his iced tea that morning, Steve Riley would not have been able to taste the difference. The dark bottle would have hidden the bright green color completely. Ina Kenoyer poisoned a man for money that was never there. On October 30th, 2023, Ina Kenoyer was arrested.
I wasn't even out there. In the garage.
I know.
Please lock up my house.
Yeah, we'll lock up your house for you.
I'll give you the keys, but...
Yep, we'll lock your house up for you. Is there anything you need?
Yes? Why me?
So right
Who?
So you get that, copy that and all that, and we'll put it down there. So right now you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, and you have the right to have an attorney present during any questions. You understand? You want us to lock up your house still?
Yes.
Okay, where are your keys at? Will your door even lock?
No. You guys busted it open after I offered the key.
When was it?
When the detectives came and talked to me.
Okay, so it normally doesn't lock though.
I wasn't even out there the whole freaking day.
Okay, you are innocent, so proven guilty, okay? But there is a warrant.
In May 2024, Ina Kenoyer pleaded guilty to Class AA felony murder and was sentenced to 50 years, 25 to serve, 25 suspended, followed by 10 years of supervised probation. She was also ordered to pay $3,455 in restitution, a number that speaks less to what Steve Riley's life was worth and more to what Ina Kenoyer had left to give. She is currently in the custody of the North Dakota Department of Corrections. Steve Riley had spent 7 years waiting for a life that was never coming. The last time he had antifreeze in his system, he survived. This time, Ina made sure he wouldn't. Steve Riley never got his inheritance, but his son got to say goodbye. And Ina Kenoyer will spend the next 25 years in prison, knowing she killed a man for money that never existed.